Yeah, so in the previous session, we were talking about the hazards, and then we discussed the structural hazard because of the hardware component. Okay, so today we'll try to discuss the data hazards. This is most important, and the next we will talk about the control hazards. Okay, so this data hazards, occurs when a instruction depends on the result of a previous instruction that exposes overlapping of instructions. So there are three types of data hazards are there that we discuss one by one. One is the read after write data hazard. The read after write data hazard, it's also known as the true dependent data hazard. So this read after write hazard occurs when the instruction reads a value before the previous instruction which completes its execution and writes the value into the register that gives a wrong value. That causes a potential execution error. And another type of hazard is the anti-dependency hazard we call write after read. So this write after read and write after write hazard occurs, which are in out of order execution. So when it write happens before the previous read or previous write are completed, that risking the data corruption. So managing the data hazard is a special kind of technique like forwarding and stalling and register that remain help migrating hazards to ensure the correct and efficient pipeline. So we'll see this one by one with an example. Okay. So in this hazard, suppose if x is equal to 5 and y is equal to x plus 2. So if the x value is read before writing, then the result of this equation will give the wrong result. So read the x value in this operation y is equal to x plus 2 before, after writing the value 5 into x, then only it gives the correct value. That we call the true data dependency. Another one is write after read hazard. So in this as said, if the value of x will be read after writing the value of this equation, like x plus 2 must be evaluated first, then write into x. Okay, so that is write after read. If it is read before writing this value, that gives the different value or error values. The third one is the write after write, that is the output dependency. Okay, so that is x is equal to 5 and second one is suppose x is equal to 10. So first write the value 5 into x, then use that value to write or update the x value. Generally we use these in the loops. So we are going to address these read after write hazard, how it occurs in the pipeline, and what are the different solutions for this read after write data hazard. So the same thing will be applied to the remaining two, that read after write and write after write. But because of time limitations, we are going to talk in detail about the data hazard about read after write. So first, let us see this in the pipeline. So read after write data hazard. To discuss this,